Before we start the show, just a word from our sponsor, Undeniable Press. For all your screen printing needs, located in the Corktown district of Detroit, Michigan. If you ever need any t-shirts or any other little promo accessories, posters, or whatnot printed up for you, go to Undeniable Press. They're located, once again, in the Corktown district of Detroit, Michigan, and you can reach them at facebook.com/undeniablepressdetroit. And those same guys who do Undeniable Press also have a clothing line called 20 by 20 Apparel. It's very much wrestling themed, all sorts of nostalgic themes in regards to the history of wrestling. And you can go check out their clothing line at 20x20apparel.com. That's the number 20x, the number 20apparel.com. Now let's start the show.
Fresh is the word.
I'm Jim Duggan, got long wood for plenty hoes. I keep it fresher than fresh, but you already know. You suckers bummy, I'm money, I got a ton of flows. My weed loud like a motherfucking thunder roll. Your shit quiet like you ballin' on a budget though. We see your kicks and we laugh and yellin' what are those. You see me shining like a suit on puffy. You know my grindin' shit is too strong, buddy. That's why the dude call money. I be stuntin' like it's nothing at all. Cause it's nothing to me, it's probably something to y'all. Trying to smoke like me, then come and fuck with your dog. Got a closet full of kicks, you can't cop it them all. And I'm fresher than the freshest, you can tell it's in my essence. Bitch, you see the way I'm rapping, yes I do this shit to death. Until I'm running out of breath, or tell somebody cut a check. But either way you know it's fresh, and either way you know it's fresh. Fresh, we fresh. Fresh, 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 goddammit, we fresh.
Welcome to the Fresh is the Word podcast, the podcast about music, pro wrestling, and MMA. I'm your host, K Fresh. And before we get into a great show that we have this week, just want to remind you how you can support the podcast. You can always go to freshasthepodcast.com and share any links you see on the website on your social medias. That would be perfect. There's also a link at the top of the website that says support the podcast, which with a PayPal link that you can donate to. And there's also an Amazon link that you can use if you ever make any purchases on Amazon, and just use that link. It doesn't change anything on your end, but it will shoot back a little commission our way for any of the purchases that you make through that link. You can also follow Fresh is the Word on Twitter and Instagram at Fresh is the Word 1. That's Fresh is the Word, then the number 1. Then also on Facebook at facebook.com/Fresh is the Podcast. And then you can also subscribe to Fresh is the Word on a myriad of locations: iTunes, Stitcher Radio, Mixcloud, SoundCloud, Google Play, TuneIn. Just go anywhere on those platforms and search Fresh is the Word, and it'll come up. You can subscribe, follow, whatever you need to do to connect with us, and you'll get the episodes instantly. And you can also leave any comments, ratings, 5-star ratings. That would be awesome. Do it. It'll help out the podcast a lot. This week, continuing on with the Juggalo theme that we had last week with the ROC, I have another Juggalo guest for you this week. Young Wicked. He used to be a part of the Axe Murder Boyz, the Garcia brothers, over on Psychopathic Records. He's no longer with Psychopathic Records. He's with Majik Ninja Entertainment, along with Twiztid, and the ROC, and Blaze Your Dead Homie. The band's back together. They're in a different place, a better place right now. And we talk about how it's like to be a part of Majik Ninja Entertainment. And he has a new album out right now called The Return of the Prodigal Son. It's a great album. You should check it out. So we get into it, start talking about the album, talk about where he's come throughout his career. We even talk about a little bit of wrestling in his childhood and how he got into doing music. It's very fascinating. We have a really good talk. Then afterwards, like always, the homie Vstylez will join in for our discussion about what's going on in the world of music, pro wrestling, and MMA. There's always a lot to talk about in those realms. So before we get into that, let's get to the interview with Young Wicked. Very cool. We're here with Young Wicked, and you have a new album. By the time this airs, it'll be already out on Majik Ninja Entertainment, The Return of the Prodigal Son. Before we get into all of that, let's go back a little. How did you originally get into doing music?
Well, originally, my dad, he's a bass player, and he's been in bands his whole life, and I was a little 7, 8-year-old kid sitting in on all his band practices, and that was my first intro to music. I'd just sit in between these four, mid-30s guys drinking beers and playing classic rock songs like as loud as possible. And that's what I like to do, is just sit there while they played. And then eventually I ended up getting up and singing, and my dad was like blown away by my singing. So me, him, and my other two brothers started a band, and we were basically doing like cover songs for weddings and shit from the time I was like 9 till I was 12. That's my true origin in music. So I was like traveling and doing shows for money, like when I was a 9-year-old kid.
What sort of songs were you playing? Like what was like your usual like set list?
Well, we had 2 country songs in our repertoire. I can't remember the other one, but the one was that Friends in Low Places. And I hated doing those fucking country songs. Like, I like country now, but back then I hated it. And we also did what else, man? We did what is it? We did that Spanish song, Oye Como Va. We played that. Well, I mean, just all kind of classic rock shit. Like every classic rock tune that you could imagine. We did like Wonderful Tonight by Eric Clapton, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Just a bunch of shit. A couple Stevie Ray Vaughan songs. Those were fun. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, it was crazy. My brother Bones, who I'm in the group A&B with, he was the drummer. And my eldest brother Ryan was a guitar player. And I sang, and my dad played the bass and organized the whole thing. It was fun, man. It was a great way to intro me into being a professional in music, that's for sure.
Right. What'd you learn during that time, as a kid, being an actual sort of musician in this cover band?
Well, it was I learned that people like to get drunk and dance, you know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
And it was a lot of drunk asses that I was dealing with at a young age, and like people screaming requests at you that you have no idea, some lady like, "Play Lady in the Red Dress." Like screaming over your fucking song, play Lady in the Red Dress. Like, bitch, I don't know what Lady in the Red Dress is. Fuck you. You know what I'm saying? But it was good. I got to see, what it's like, what it takes to set up all your gear and be in a band and, tear everything down and make a tiny bit of money. But the thing is, for me, I was just a little kid. All I was buying was like wrestling toys with my money anyways. So
right.
Every time I got $100 for a show, it was like a huge deal. I was just like, this is fucking awesome. But yeah, it taught me how to be a professional, honestly. It taught me to respect the sound man. It taught me to, how to handle crowds. I was a real stage fright kid back then, and I got through it because this is what I wanted, And then around the age of 12, 13, that's when we discovered rap music, more specifically like the wicked shit.
Right.
And the rest is history, basically.
Right. Well, you said you would spend your money on wrestling toys. Are you a big wrestling fan?
Hell yeah. I was. My wrestling fandom was so strong. I wanted to be a wrestler. I used to like wrestle the air in our trampoline and out back for like 6 hours a day, just practicing my moves, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
But no, I was a huge wrestling fan until like the Monday Night War ended.
Yeah.
And then it just slowly fizzled from that point on. I'll still watch like WrestleMania every now and again. I'm much more into like the UFC now, but I couldn't tell you who half of these wrestlers are. Like, I don't know, like where Kofi Kingston came from. I don't even know if that guy's still a wrestler or what. Like, I'm super out of the loop as far as wrestling goes right now. Other than, I know a few wrestlers like my homie the Weed Man. He's also known as Dysfunction. He's out in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. He's one of my fucking homeboys, one of my favorite wrestlers. So shout out to him. But yeah, I fell off when the Monday Night War ended.
Yeah, I think a lot of people did that. A lot of people fell off at that time.
Yeah, but I was deep in it, man. I loved wrestling from a child. My fucking dad and my grandpa loved it, and I used to buy the fucking Jack's Pacific wrestling figures for like $4.99. I loved them things, man. That was the other thing I spent my childhood doing, was just playing with fucking wrestling toys.
Who are your favorite wrestlers at that time?
Probably Rey Mysterio, Juventud Guerrera, and Ultimo Dragon. I was big into the luchadors and the cruiserweights. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, lovely. Awesome.
Yeah. La Parka was fresh as fuck.
La Parka was awesome.
Hell yeah, man. Old school. I guess more mainstream style. I kind of like, I was down with Bret Hart.
Yeah.
Big Shawn Michaels fan. Big Stone Cold and Rock fan, obviously.
Definitely.
But yeah, fuck yeah. The Hardy Boys were the shit. You know, I still like the Hardy Boys. I actually caught notice of what they're doing with their whole new gimmick and the delete shit and all that. And
yeah.
I was like, this is entertaining. I don't know what the fuck's going on, but this is entertaining.
Amazing.
Hell yeah, man. Shit's awesome.
Amazing. And you just mentioned that you're a fan of UFC. Do you pay attention to a lot of the stuff going on these days?
I pay attention to the stuff that you can catch scrolling on Facebook, and then I'm a big McGregor fan, so I'm interested to see what happens on the 26th. You know what I'm saying? And I mean, like I'm an American and I'm proud of the USA and all that, but I really want Conor to knock out Mayweather, guys, like so bad. You know what I'm saying? So I'm excited for that. But then, I watch a few fight documentaries, and I stay up to date with what happens in the most recent ones. Like I just watched a video of this girl taking a shit on herself when she got choked out.
Yeah.
It was like just happened the other day or something. I'm like, damn. And that girl who shitted herself, she was probably talking mad shit before she went into that fight too.
Right.
And she just ends up getting beat up and embarrassed. It's crazy.
Right. Then afterwards, she actually tweeted, with a hashtag, shit happens.
That's how you own that shit. Literally.
Right.
That's awesome.
Do you have?
I like the UFC from a distance. I'm not buying pay-per-views.
Right.
I'm watching this shit on YouTube afterwards like a buster. Fuck it.
Right. Do you catch any of the other organizations like Bellator?
I see them, but I couldn't tell you anybody who's in there. You know what I mean? But I watch them every now and again for sure. Because that shit's, some of them are like free on FX or some shit.
And Spike. Most of all their program is on Spike. But this past weekend they did actually have their second pay-per-view in company history, and it was really good.
Oh, that's the shit. That's awesome. It's tight to see somebody coming up. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and there's a lot of
out against the giant Walmart-ass UFCs of the world.
Right, and there's been a lot of UFC fighters that have come over to Bellator recently. Rory McDonald, Lorenz Larkin, Ryan Bader. They're all in.
That's tight, man. I wonder how much of a WWE TNA situation that is. Like, I wonder if they're actually moving up and doing better for themselves, or if they're joining up with some shady people and inevitably going to be in a sinking ship. I don't know nothing about it. I'm just
with Bellator.
Head,
With Bellator, they're owned by Viacom, and and Scott Coker, who used to run Strikeforce back in the day, that eventually got bought by the UFC. He's been running Bellator for the past few years, and he's kind of gotten it back on track. Back when the previous guy, Bjorn Rebney, was in charge of everything in Bellator, that was a TNA situation for real.
Yeah, see, you understood what I was saying, man. Fuck yeah.
Yeah, that was a TNA situation for real. But now, like, with Scott Coker head and everything else, they're getting back on track. They are bringing some of these like older guys to fight. Have these marquee matchups. Like they had
little spectacle type shit.
Yeah, like they had Vanderlei Silva versus Chael Sonnen and then Matt Mitrione versus Fedor Emelianenko this past weekend for the pay-per-view. That was
that's pretty fucking cool.
Yeah, they're having these crazy these legends and stuff over there, but at the same time they're building up their other divisions, and their welterweight division is like ridiculous right now. So that's going to be super fun. But Scott Coker's been getting it back on track from what it used to be.
Shit.
So
yeah, those guys work so hard for what they're doing. So it's like it sucks. Same with wrestlers. I've seen a lot of wrestlers just get fucking the bone over the years. You know what I mean? So it's like it's a crazy business. It's somewhat like the music business, only less fucking I don't know, getting punched in the head.
To some people, I guess.
Right. There's certain, if you're XXX Tentacion, he's a current fucking SoundCloud rapper. If you're that guy, you're definitely getting punched in the head quite a bit.
And dildos to be thrown at you.
Yeah, dog, and they're throwing, man, me and you were on YouTube probably the same amount. Them motherfuckers are getting schooled out on the road. I can't believe it, man. That's the shit. That's how it used to be back in the old school wicked shit days. There's plenty of stories of underground rap legends jumping off stage and blowing people's grills out, you know what I mean? But
right.
but that ain't like that nowadays. They got the power of the cell phone and motherfuckers getting sued and shit. But ain't nobody even really trying to beef like that for real, you know, in my world anyways.
Right,
People
right.
talk a lot of shit on the internet, but nothing ever happens.
Right,
ever,
right.
dog. So it's like, fuck it.
Right. How did you finally, you know, start getting serious about doing rap music?
Well, we started, I mean, we were already hip to making music on our own by the time we were 12, 13 and started listening to underground rap and shit. So we just started recording right away. And, like, I think I was like maybe 13 or 14 years old when we put out our first tape and CD. And we recorded it all on a 4-track tape recorder and fucking put it out on tape at first, like 10 copies, just selling them to our homies. We were the shit for that, though. We were so floored that we sold any at all.
Right.
we were geeks that we could make 10 of them and have each one look kind of similar. You know, it was dope.
Right.
But then, yeah, we just started pressing CDs, and that just started, you know, an everyday, lifelong, at this point, career of recording, promoting, pressing, and putting out our own CDs, you know what I mean? All the way to the point where we got I was like 17 when Psychopathic had a contest called Underground Psychos. Right. And it was like you win the contest, you get a contract. And we won that bitch. Fucking, it was like we were like the fucking 10-1 underdog or whatever, but we fucking pulled it out with mad hard work. Right. The guys we were battling, they thought they had it won already, so they were relaxing, and we showed up like with mad promotional shit and just begging motherfuckers to vote for us. You know what I'm saying? And we got it, dog. Thank God. And that changed everything. From that point on, shit got even 12 times as serious. And we learned how to record with real equipment as opposed to old digital recorders and old fucking 4-track analog tape recorders. Like, we moved up to Pro Tools and shit, you know what I mean?
Right.
And started nationally touring and just learned the ropes, you know what I'm saying? We already had a good mind, a good business mind, and a good music mind. So on the road, got that exposure and fucking took it from there, you know?
Right. All those years that you guys were putting out CDs as Axe Murder Boyz before the whole psychopathic thing, you know, what was sort of like your fondest memories of that time? What really sticks out of that time?
Oh man, probably just how deep our crew was. Like every concert we did was a huge, huge deal and a huge success. We used to play at these places called like Islet Park Saloon and shit. And what we would do is we would, I, being a 16-year-old kid, would call and book these places myself, you know, no experience, no nothing, just fucking fast-talking these guys. And then I'd get us into these clubs, doing these headlining shows. We would theme them something cool, and we would fucking promote them for, like, you know, a couple months and actually be putting, like, 200-300 people in these little bars. It looked awesome. It was like we were fucking killing it.
Right.
And, we had a crew of like 24, 25 people who were there for us every single show, every time. Nobody had like, we were all kids, so nobody had like real responsibilities yet.
Right.
So we were always just 24/7 doing this. And then, you know, that's probably it. You know what I mean? Just remembering how dope we were for being totally independent, totally Colorado only. And we were building a fan base all on our own. That shit was just exciting.
Right.
I remember at the end, I used to be like super straight edge. And during this time, I was like, no drugs, no alcohol. And I was constantly, you know, I guess I was religious. I'm more spiritual now, but back then I was straight up like Christian in my personal life. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I was rapping about all kind of horrible shit. But personally, I was just like, you know, like I'd be judging my brothers for like drinking or fucking hanging out with fucking too many chicks or whatever. I'd be like, oh, you guys are sinning, you know, all this shit. But I remember after each show every night, we would go home and we'd have like a little mini after party with the whole posse at my mom's house.
Yeah.
And I remember every time after the shows going home and like full-blown falling to my knees and thanking God for such an incredible show and like the fact that we get to do this and like it's working and shit. You know, because back then I didn't care about any of the money. It was just a dream that I wanted to achieve. And I was always visualizing rocking crowds, and now I was actually doing it mad young style. You know, like they used to put X's on our hands because we were, you know, too young to be in the bars that we were playing at. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It was fucking great, man. It was great. It was just a really good time, a really good way to get me set up for what I was about to encounter, which was the national touring world and the darkness of the music industry.
Right. Everything you just described about that time is like what I also witnessed, like on the early days of ICP and House of Crazies and Isham and Nodis and even Kid Rock here in Michigan. Like everything was
totally.
It was all these guys were grinding there. They made all their shows events. They weren't just another show. There's this There's this importance behind all of it, even though they were all like local regional acts, you know.
That's awesome. Yeah, I've heard many a story about that early magical time. I really wish I could have seen like an Isham show in his heyday when he was like selling out crowds and coming out of a casket and all. Oh,
dude,
you know what I'm saying?
I got to see like one really true Isham show, like I think it was in '95. I was like 14 years old, and I think that was the last true Isham show that I really got to see. I seen him after that, but it wasn't in the same spirit as what I saw that night.
Yeah, that's super dope. I mean, I've met him, I've seen his shows before, and he's super dope, and he's a legend for doing what he's doing. But the fucking heyday, that would have been some shit. You know what I'm saying?
Right. You brought up sort of like this sort of a religious aspect that you had early on, and you've kind of converted more spiritual. Have you been able to kind of keep that up through all this time in the music industry?
Yeah, hell yeah, man. It's like a go-to for me. Like as far as like a belief in God, that's definitely very firm and solid in my heart and my mind, and I speak to God regularly, and we got a good spiritual relationship. I just don't do like the religion thing so much as like, organized religion. It's just a bunch of craziness. And like, you can read, all the religious books and pick it apart and find all sorts of weirdo shit in there. So I'm straight on all that. I know that there's a creator and whatever his or its name is, I know we're connected, and that's who I'm speaking to, and I ignore the rest of the shit. You know what I mean? But yeah, that's pretty much it for me, man. And it's helped me get through fucking everything, honestly, because it gives you strength. Spirituality will give you strength when you absolutely need it, and when you have none. You know what I'm saying? It'll give you something that you feel like you ain't alone, and that's the shit. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah. I've heard a lot of people where they don't like sort of have this sort of ties to organized religion and spirituality and stuff, but they're more comfortable with having their own personal relationship with it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It keeps you going, man. It fucking got me through a lot of shit. So I'm saying it's got me through a lot of long, crazy tours and my previous bout with alcoholism and all that shit. You know what I'm saying? Just having that faith base kind of made it to where no matter what happened, no matter what I put myself through, I was able to come out on the other end still shining. So I'm very grateful for that. It's the shit. I think I got that from my grandparents, my mother, you know what I'm saying? They instilled that in me. They were all super religious, but just the constant spirituality vibe, you know what I mean?
Right. Yeah, I read somewhere online that you quit drinking a few years ago.
Yeah, it'll be what month are we in?
We're in June.
Oh no shit. Okay, so then damn, I missed my 3-year anniversary of not drinking. I've been kicking it with my kids for the last 2 weeks and didn't give a fuck about that at all, but June 19th was the 3-year anniversary of my last drink. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So June 19th, 2014, I believe it was when I had my last drink at a club called Pops in St. Louis, surrounded by strip clubs. I spent 3 days there on a bender, fucking blew $800 just on buying alcohol at a bar. You know what I'm saying?
Dude.
$800. I was buying drinks for like old people and shit, and like day drinking all day, like all these random fucks just, I'm a baller. Like, no, you're not, dog. It was like 2 shows worth of money that I had, and I just blew it all. It's funny as hell.
Oh.
But yeah, those days are long gone, man. Ever since I fucking kicked that alcohol shit, everything in my life has been on an upward trajectory. I've been through some crazy shit since, but nothing that I couldn't handle, and nothing that I would be able to handle if I was still drinking. You feel me?
Right,
Some people just can't handle it, man. Some people, like, you know, my lady can have a drink and be fine. Not have to drink the next day, not have to drink until she's vomiting, you know. But me, if I drink a little, it's just over with. You know what I'm saying? So I stay away from it completely. Smoking a lot of weed, though.
Right. I quit drinking back in November. I was just trying to quit like in really half-ass ways for like most of last year. And then after one night, I went to like a Asking Alexandria show, and that whole night I was just drinking. Like, and it just kind of, after the next day, it just kind of clicked. I'm like, I don't want to do this anymore. And I just don't care anymore to drink and everything. And it's weird, like, once you get some space from that, once your body starts sort of reverting back to what it's supposed to be, like, some of the effects that you don't realize that alcohol, like, has on your body, it's crazy.
Right. Yeah, that shit was tearing me apart. I mean, I drank in a way that was, like, extremely physically damaging, but thank God I stopped. You know, I basically had 1 whole year of really, really hardcore drinking, and if that would have been like maybe 2-3 years, I probably would have lasting damage, but thank God I stopped at a time that was like, you know, I got out of it. It took a while to heal, but I got out of it. But yeah, man, I did a rehab and everything. Rehab was the shit. It was like a fucking excellent, well-fed, super mountain-esque, beautiful vacation. But you had to do a bunch of fucking homework and basically learn not how to be a drunken asshole all the time. Thank God I did it, man. It's worth it, Doug. Congrats on you not drinking too, because it's fucking worth it.
Yeah, thank you, man. Yeah, congrats on the 3 years.
Hell yeah, I can't wait to hit my lady up and be like, we missed the fucking anniversary of my shit. Now we get to celebrate. You know what I mean? Crack it open. Let's get some fucking drinks. No, I'm sure.
Right.
There's actually a bar outside of the rehab I went to, and if you bring them your 30-day achievement sobriety coin, they will let you drink for free all night in their bar for giving them their coin. I'm like, that is some sinister, wicked shit right there. You're driving up to rehab, and on the way up, you see these bars, and those bars will actually cut you a deal and so I can let you drink all night for free if you give them your coin. I'm like, damn, that's a crazy marketing ploy, bro.
That's crazy. Horrible. What's been the atmosphere over at Majik Ninja since you've joined? You know, how did joining Majik Ninja come about, and what was those initial conversations like?
Well, I've been knowing George for a long time. Like since my first out-of-state concert, I met him at this show called 3M Fest, and it was just like a barn in the middle of nowhere, and it was just a bunch of rappers rapping for other rappers. It was awful, but George was there, and a relationship began. And from that point on, we had done some shows, some ABK shows, and like we came up through our career at the same time as he did his. And he was always like an extremely trustworthy ninja, you know, like if he made a deal with you, that deal, you know. And you'd be surprised in the rap game how often that's not the case. So yeah, when I became a free agent, George called me, and, you know, I didn't think him or Twiztid would call me at all, you know what I'm saying? And I was just, my whole plan at that point was to just keep making records, just doing it on my own, you know, seeing where I could go with it. But when he called me and we started talking, I started getting real hopeful, you know, and I felt like it would be a perfect fit. And it turned out to be a fucking perfect fit because those guys know, you know, what my come up was like. You know, they experienced so many similar things. So going over there was like a fucking dream come true. Like everything that I could have wanted and wished for to be handled by a label, it all happens here, and it's all like fucking done. It's all obvious, you know, like obvious shit. Like nowadays, now that I'm with MNE, I can have merch for my fucking shows. You know what I'm saying? And like we promote our albums and et cetera, et cetera. So I mean, basically, it's just like a dream come true being over there. Fucking, they don't leave shit. They don't leave shit on the table. You're not wondering why you don't have no merch. You know, everything is just like on point. You know, and everything's open. I got a good open relationship with our accountant, and you know, everything is like I don't know, man. I can't explain it other than dream come true. That's like the best words to explain it. For an underground rapper who went through as much shit as I did to be with some people like this, it's like I'm finally with the right people. You know what I mean?
Great, awesome. Yeah, you got a new album out right now. It's called The Return of the Prodigal Son. What's some of your favorite songs on the album?
Oh shit, definitely Still I Rise, featuring Ritz and Jamie Madrox. That was like another fucking big dream come true for me to get both of those guys on one song together. And like I tailor-made the song hoping that Ritz would do it, and so we sent it out to him hoping he would do it, and he did. It's just a fucking blessing. So that's a big one. And then this track, I really like this track. It's called Stronger in the Finish, and it's like a dark, fucking smoky, fucking rainy sounding song. You know what I mean? It's like one way to describe it. Like you listen to this song, you close your eyes, and that's the kind of shit you picture. And I didn't know how people would take to it because I use auto-tune on the song. You know what I mean?
Right.
But people are loving it, and we're thinking about making that the next video. We're like in talks right now, figuring out all the procedures to make the next video, and that's the track that I think I'm going to go with. And it's just dope. It's super different. It's not the same young, wicked, fast rapping shit. You know what I mean? And like with my last record, when I put out that video, YWG, it was a whole like singing love song basically. And I like doing that. I like doing different shit that isn't just like automatically like fucking the same shit everybody's heard over and over. So that one's really dope. But I love the whole album, man. The whole album is really like one big expression of how I felt during the time I was making it. You know, it was a big, you know, exhale of fucking energy. You know what I mean? And it's the shit. It's out now. It's working. I fucking love it, man.
Right. You have a video out now for Believe. What's that song about, and where did you film the video? What's the concept of the video about?
The video is pretty fucking funny, in my opinion, even though it's a really serious song. But I wrote this, like, treatment for it, where basically I'm like a disgruntled, like, failing fucking RV salesman. I don't know why I went with RV salesman, probably because we had access to an RV lot. But anyway,
right.
RV salesman who's, like, losing his business, so he decides to turn to selling dope to make the money that he needs to keep his business alive, right? But the dope is actually my CDs and T-shirts. So, like, you see him packing up a bag full of CDs and shirts and looking around all sketchy.
Right.
And then he gets this hunting rifle and fucking goes to make the drug deal with the bad guys. And the bad guys try to fucking jump him, and he turns around and shoots them all and takes the money and the dope. And that's that's basically the end of the video. But you know what I'm saying? Like, he killed the bad guy drug dealers, and he got paid, and he still gets to keep all his dope, a.k.a. Young Wicked CDs and merch, which is just fucking funny and fresh to me. But so that's like the way the video goes. It's that mixed in with like really dope performance shots. We did it with my boy Mike Whittaker and Josh Ulrich. My boy Chop was there, a couple other people. It was a family affair, and we put a lot of heart into making it, so it's really fucking, you could see the heart in it, so that's what's dope about it. The song Believe is more, it's just about telling people I can make you believe in this shit I'm doing because it's real, regardless of any negative nonsense you've heard on the internet or any hater shit that you've come across or your preconceived notions of who I am. I can make you believe in me because it's easy to believe in shit when it's real, you know what I mean? And that's basically what the track is. Damn, that was some deep shit I just said. Fucking awesome.
Awesome. One thing I've noticed since like your early years of being an artist, when you were Psychopathic with the Axe Murder Boyz, is that in recent years you've kind of had a bit of a image change, a transformation about your image. You have more of a grown-up look now. What was the reasoning behind sort of like updating the way you look?
Well, it all kind of came about naturally. I felt a certain way, and trying to force myself to dress and portray something else. Like with Axe Murder Boyz, it's a lot of theater. It's a lot of like, especially back in the day, it was like that original, like all we cared about was like original wicked shit. So it was all kind of built in fantasy. Yeah. Of like, I'm gonna fucking be this character who kills you with an axe in a comic book, fucking Superman style or whatever, or superhuman serial killers, whatever it is, you know what I mean? Right. And that just wasn't, that just isn't me. I had the real me trying to crawl out, you know what I'm saying? And as time went on, A&B, started talking more and more about us, and people would always ask us, like, who are you? Like, you got Boondocks the Scarecrow, you got fucking the Wicked Clowns, you got the Dead Homie. Who are you guys? And we were always just like, we're juggalo rappers who fucking made it all the way to the fucking big leagues. You know what I mean? Like, that's always been my best fucking explanation for what A&B was, But at the core of who we are, we're like the underdogs who are constantly having to like overcome these hardships in our lives to keep shining. You know what I mean? And that's really what started to come out, musically, not so much the look, but musically, and who I was starting to come out more and more and more. And then as I got to do Young Wicked, I got to completely just portray myself exactly how I want to be, fucking Rico Suave, my hair back in a dope fucking hairdo, and fucking, throw on some skinnies and a fucking cut off t-shirt. Like, I don't give a fuck. I'm comfortable in that shit. You know what I'm saying? I like the way I look in that shit. Bitches are feeling it, so fuck it. You know what I'm saying? But I'm definitely much more comfortable in my own skin now as I grew in this business and as I grew into into realizing who I am as a person. I definitely, all that shit became easier. Dressing for shows became easier. Answering that stupid ass question of who are you became easier. Like, fuck you, I'm me. Listen to my music, I'm a musician. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, we're just not all that gimmicked up, but we turn it up every now and again. There's whole concerts where we've done with our faces painted, fucking 3 costume changes and shit. Right. We still do flavor like that for Axe Murder Boyz for sure. But yeah, man, as far as Young Wicked goes, I'm just being myself. And like the last A&B album, the Garcia Brothers, was really us. It was us like pulling from our childhood and shit and just fucking, you know what I'm saying, putting our anger on a record. So yeah, man, we're just basically became more and more ourselves, Right.
When did you start to feel like you were getting more comfortable in your own skin to be able to really tell who you are as an artist through your music?
Oh, probably after I got sober, after going to rehab, and then fucking getting clean. I went to rehab. I had a couple relapses and then got clean again, and have been that way for just over 3 years now. And that was like this super awakening of like, who I wasn't was that guy who was drunk all the time, and the feelings and emotions I had when I was hammered all the time and broke and fucking, with a bunch of different hoes and all this other shit. You know what I mean? That shit was like not the fucking person I wanted to be. So as soon as I got that shit out of my fucking system, I started really focusing and realizing who I am, introspection and shit like that. And yeah, so I'd say around 2013, when we made Garcia Brothers, into 2014 was when I really, really was like going to start hitting my stride. And that's when I realized I was going to do the solo shit, and it just started banging shit out. Killjoy Club happened, fucking produced a Joker card, all kind of shit happened. You know what I'm saying? And I'm still pushing, man. Still keeping it fucking going. it's a lot easier now because I'm comfortable, you know what I mean, with who I am and with what I'm saying, confident, you know what I mean, it's the shit.
Definitely. Is there any future plans for any Axe Murder Boyz, Garcia Brothers material?
Yeah, we're recording it right now. It's actually going to be finished before the month is over. And it's called Muerte, which is Spanish for death. And it's just going to be a ruthless fucking A&B record. And yeah, we're going to put it out, I think, as soon as possible after we finish it. So maybe like a month or 2 months after we finish it.
Word.
So it'll be out before the year's done. And it'll come with 3 or 4 videos, and we're going to try to tour. We're going to fucking really hit him. You know, Bones is ready. You know, he's been sitting and waiting and helping me shine and helping me do this Young Wicked thing. And now he's ready to fucking get out there and rip some shit up. And it's really dope. You know, there's a difference between a Young Wicked show and an A&B show. And it's really cool, the difference. It's really fun to watch us up there together because, like, we're bouncing off each other all fucking crazy and all this energy. And, you know what I'm saying? When it goes right, there's not, like, a word missed. Anytime my shit drops, his shit is up, you know? Like, we learned that from Twiztid and ABK and fucking, Lavelle from back in the day.
Right.
They were all, like, we watched Twiztid do it, and we learned how to do it well from them. And ABK and Lavelle, like, fucking straight up verbally schooled us, like, you know, because back in the day, we didn't know what the fuck we were doing, really. You know what I mean? We had our lyrics on this shit. So, but yeah, man, big plans for A&B. We're going to do a bunch of more shit. A lot of merch, you know what I mean? A lot of fucking new music. We also got Cut and Stitched Volume 2, which is like our cryptic collection or whatever. And we got the Volume 2 of that, and that'll probably come out with the album, you know what I'm saying? We're going to try to make that like part of a pre-order option. You get that whole other album if you pre-order the fucking Muerte, you know what I'm saying? So, should be dope.
What's sort of like your regular sort of contact with everybody over there when, you know, prepping this album, you know, doing the touring and whatnot? You know, from your perspective, what's sort of the day-to-day operations like?
Well, it's pretty fucking, you know, everybody's got a really nice sense of camaraderie. And it's not like forced, and it's not weird and personal. It's just like everyone treats each other the way you would if you were working with somebody, like normal as hell. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And you know, there's a lot of expectations, and everybody strives to meet those expectations because it's benefiting everyone. Like, there's nobody who's you actually get paid here. If you do work and you sell a product, they'll pay you for it. So everyone's motivated to fucking work really hard. Motherfuckers show up 8, 9 in the morning and work all day into the night, you know what I'm saying? And just school shit. You know, they hook shit up like this, like interviews, and I get a text or a call from at least 2 people from the label every day setting something up, like, here, you got to do this, or this is going on, or here's a check, or here's a song you got to rap on, or send us some beats. You know, like every day we're doing something. So I guess the atmosphere could be described as like, you know, a strong work ethic and fucking professional and fucking like, you know, our subcultures, you know, we use the word family a lot. These guys treat you like real family. Like if you went to one of your family members' house, you know what I'm saying? They would invite you in, offer you a drink, you know what I'm saying? See what's up. They would, you know, it's crazy, man, that I talk about normal stuff like it's so fascinating, but it's just like these guys, you know, they know how to treat people. So that's why motherfuckers like to continue to work with them. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's the shit.
I remember, you know, a couple years ago when I first interviewed Jamie and Paul of Twiztid, and we talked about everything with Magic Ninja. One of the things that they said is, like, we don't want to work with anybody unless they, you know, put in the work, and they want to be people who eventually will be able to headline their own shows or headline their own tours. Yeah. You know, what are you doing to be that person, a part of this label?
Well, shit, man. All we strive for and push towards is just making each artist as big as they can be. And if that means me touring on some Juggalo tours in the beginning of the year and then going out with some mainstream artists, you know, I did a Mickey Avalon tour a while back. Like, it's all about building that brand with as many people as possible. You know, it's not all closed off to one sect of people. I've got my core fan base, which is the juggalos, you know what I'm saying? And it's not every juggalo by any means. Like, my fan base is a select amount of juggalos, you know what I'm saying? But that's the thing is, like, with juggalos, like, you don't have to like all of it. Just fucking do you know what I mean? But, like, what I'm going to do is push my album to the people who love it and to anyone else who wants to listen to it, because I feel like my product can go anywhere. And I learned that on the Mickey Avalon shows, you know, where it was not a juggalo in the crowd, and I'm still rocking these fucking shows and selling all this merch, you know what I mean? So that's the plan for me, is to just try to take it as far and as wide as I can. The same way Tech Nine did over the course of his career, you know what I mean? And just branch out, you know what I mean? And, like, nobody over there, like you said, nobody over there has the mindset or the mentality of just being a spot filler to play some shitty stage at 3 a.m., you know what I mean, type thing. You know, like, that's not what M&E is trying to do to their artist or their label by being like, you're with us, but we're going to give you the shaft and make you stay where you are as far as expansion goes. Like, you just stay here, play the same stage, play the same shows, and, you know, never expand. Nobody's on that shit at M&E, you know what I mean? Everybody's just like, expand, 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 keep working. Don't put out the same shit the same way, you know. Everybody's like, the motherfuckers at other companies, I don't even understand how to use, like, Instagram and shit. Like, nothing at M&E is left on the table. We don't let anything slide or just not get done. You know what I mean? Everything is used. Everything is promoted properly. We're making, you know, videos, flyers. You know, we're not leaving any money on the table. I actually have merchandise now. It's amazing. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah. At this point, I guess the best thing I could do to make it work and to become that headliner is to just keep making better music. Because once I get that Bright record out, you know, that's all it really takes, is having that one album that can turn it for anybody, you know what I mean? And until then, we're going to keep making dope shit for the people who are already buying it and loving it. So, yeah, man, it's good shit.
Right. How do you feel like, just as Majik Ninja as a whole, how do you feel like they're trying to expand the brand where it isn't just continually pigeonholed towards the Juggalo crowd, to where it hits these other sort of sectors of the music industry?
Well, I mean, they hire, first of all, you don't have to have face paint to be here, and you don't have to have some goofy gimmick to be here either, you know what I mean? You can just be dope musically and have an opportunity at Majik Ninja, you know what I'm saying? And so that alone right there is big. There's no holding anyone back. There's no fucking typecasting anyone or forcing anyone to rap about any specific thing. It's like none of that. Make dope shit, and M&E will help you facilitate pushing that shit to as many people as possible. You know, and like, okay, G-Mo Ski, he's got like a lot of dope battle raps, and he's really lyrical. He's got mad punchlines, you know what I mean? There's a whole audience outside of the Juggalo community that love that you can push that to. I mean, he's doing like G-Mo Ski, in my opinion, is like he could go anywhere. Like, he's doing Warped Tour in Massachusetts coming up in a couple weeks. And that's just an example. Like, I know he's going to rock that show, even if none of them kids ever heard him, because he's got that music that can carry through to any crowd. And M&E helps us get in front of those crowds, you know what I mean? So that's really fucking what it's all about.
Right. Yeah, you have this new album coming out, The Return of the Prodigal Son. What was sort of your mindset going into this album when you're trying to figure out what you wanted to do for it?
I just went and spoke straight from the heart. Like, I was feeling and going through a lot of the stuff because of what my ex-label was putting me through, and all the shade and nonsense that was on the internet, you know what I mean? And I just, like, fucking purged all those feelings into this music in a real positive way, too. It's not like a salty, bitter, like, I hate you guys for picking on me shit. It's more of like a defiant, like, you know, if you ain't riding with me, fuck you, because I'm still shining. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And it's tight that we call it the return of the prodigal son, because basically I was off in the world for a long time, you know, and I was doing bad, maybe not bad intentionally, but life wasn't half as good as it is now. And then finally I get to come home to some people that really respect me, and it feels like I'm home in the place that I need to be.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I've returned to keep dropping that dope shit. And, like, they didn't kill me. They didn't silence me. They didn't make me stop. I fucking beat that shit. I rose above that shit, and I'm still pushing, you know what I mean? So that's basically the whole everything behind the album. I even got a song on there called Keep It Pushing. But basically, you know, and another song called Carry On, where it's just like, no matter what, you know, you try to do to stop me or silence me, it'll never happen. You know, I got too many people who got my back. I got too much heart in this music. It'll never, ever happen.
Right.
And that's what the album is. The album is basically me just being like, fuck you, I'm shining.
Right.
I like it, man. That's a dope way to put it. I'm going to put that on a t-shirt or something.
Yeah, that sounds dope. Sometimes when you have sort of like these independent labels, or even like these boutique labels that these major labels will give to rappers,
right.
You'll sometimes have that marquee act on there, and then you'll have these other acts that they sign to the label, and sometimes, and a lot of times, those other acts don't get the attention that main act gets. With Magic Ninja, obviously Twiztid is the marquee act of the label, but does everybody at Magic Ninja like give the attention to your music just like they would do for a Twiztid album?
You wouldn't believe, man. It's and the thing is, the fact that M&E does that so well, like they give the and this is in my opinion, they give the proper amount of attention to each artist so well that it's like, I can't believe I ever went through anything less, you know what I mean? Because these guys are just so on top of it. And I know it can't be easy, but they make it look easy, you know what I'm saying? Because you know, Jason and Mike Whittaker and George, everybody over there is just like killing it for everyone, going all out for everyone. I've had more opportunities here than I've had in, like, you know, years of my career, and they got a slew of other artists that they're pulling these opportunities for all day the same way, you know what I mean? It's like, coming from the situation I was in, it's really humbling, and you know, it's just like I'm just blown away when I'm here, and they're calling me every day like, this is happening, this is going on, do you want to do this? You know, they do give me enough attention. Like, as an artist, I feel like I get plenty of attention. And that was a problem for a long time, for me at least. It was just like, damn, don't nobody give a fuck that I'm on this label no more. But these guys, it's not like that, you know. And it helps with the label too. Like, each rapper isn't jealous of the other one. Motherfuckers don't want to fight each other. You know, like Gmo, when he gets an opportunity, I can be happy and proud and like uplifting for it, because I know that, like, I'm not being hoed out at all. Like, they'll do their best to give me the same opportunities, and they do, right. And they prove it. So we all are happy as artists, so we can support each other, guilt-free, you know, ego-free. Everyone's doing good. Whereas, like, there's other companies where everyone gets thumbed down and everyone gets placed in a position that no one is happy with, and motherfuckers start hating each other and shit, you know what I mean?
Right.
That shit don't exist over here. Everything's on the table, everything's open communication. You know, if you have a grievance, which I don't see why anyone could with this company, and I know that sounds like fucking fairy tale talk, but this is the God's honest truth, man. These dudes fucking, they just do right, and it feels refreshing, because in the world, so many businesses would be so much better off if people just did the right thing. You know, just do the right thing, bro. Pay the person for what they did, you know, whatever. Just do the right thing. And they do that over at M&E. They work hard as fuck for us. And all we got to do is keep turning in that music, dope music. You know what I'm saying? As fast as we can, honestly. That's the thing, is we since I got here, I haven't stopped recording. It's crazy. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So it's the shit, man.
Aside from making your own music, is there any sort of roles in the day-to-day operations over at Majik Ninja that you've kind of assumed and taken, control of?
I'm not really. I send over tracks, and if I'm there, I can engineer for folks and stuff. But they didn't even really put that on me to try to be like, can we use it as an engineer or make everybody's beats or come in here and do everyone's show tapes or whatever. Like, it wasn't that at all. Basically, I came here and they were like, it's time for you to shine as an artist. It's time for Young Wicked to do what he needs to do as an artist. You know what I mean? So, it's been really, like I said, refreshing. I kind of fucking take a step back from the engineering and producing other people's albums so far, and I'm very happy with that. I'd love to do work with anyone on the label, be it engineering or production.
Right.
But the fact that I've gotten to focus on my shit for the first time in like 4 years, you know what I mean? That's a great feeling.
Right. How does it feel to sort of have that freedom to be more creative and not have to do all these other jobs and then make your music?
It's great, man. It's amazing. I get to hang out in Colorado and raise my family, you know what I mean? And at the same time, make my music. Like, they understand the power of the internet. Like, I don't have to be there for some face value thing. Like, they know I exist. I know they exist.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's okay for me to live in it. Like, Gmo lives in Cali. It's okay for people to be out of state, like, and still make it on this label. And, I was, back in the day, it's just refreshing. That's the best word for it. And you can hear it in the album. I'm just so much more comfortable and happy with my personal life. And it's made me able to focus on my professional life way better. That's another positive. I quit taking prescription pills around the same time that I signed with Majik Ninja.
Okay.
Because I had an issue with that, too. I kicked that shit because I don't need that shit anymore because I'm not god-awful miserable in my life anymore. You know what I mean?
Right.
Life has gotten so much better and so much easier to take on that I've been able to, like, through willpower and strength, defeat other addictions and shit and issues in my life. You know what I mean? It's a blessing all the way around, brother. Majik Ninjas came and fucking saved me, dog. Straight up. Like Weezy used to say, or no, it's not Wayne, fucking Tech Nine. He said, strange music saved my life. Well, fucking Majik Ninja saved my life. That's for sure.
That's good to hear.
Hell yeah. It's good to say, man. I like doing these because it helps me remember how fucking awesome shit has been the last few months. You know what I mean?
Right. As we wind down this interview, with this new album coming out, what do you hope your audience gets out of, what you're trying to say on this album?
I just hope that they understand that despite all the hardship and hatred that was thrown on me, despite being the underdog, still that I'm still here and, we're still rising. We still got a mission. We still got each other. You know what I mean? Basically, I want them to walk away with, an understanding that just because motherfuckers want to talk shit on the internet or motherfuckers want to hate me for all this outlandish, made-up bullshit, it in no way stops the operation. Everything we've built for the last 15 years is still here, and we're just going to try to make it bigger, you know what I mean? And that's kind of what it's just a reaffirmation of, like, solidarity on this album. Like, I'm here, I'm not going anywhere. And even if there's a whole army against me and I'm standing completely by myself, it's still not going to fucking change. You know what I mean? Fight to the death. You know what I mean? And hopefully we're not fighting to the death. Hopefully we're fighting to success. That's the goal here.
Right.
It's just being successful so we can make better lives for our fucking children and our families, man. I'm a dad, so I'm big on, paying bills and fucking being there for my children. You know what I mean? So that's what my personal life mission is making dope music for the people who love it and managing my business well enough to support my children and my family. And with Majik Ninja, it's like that. It's easy. It really is. All you got to do is just make dope shit. You know what I mean? It's great. It's so much less of a crazy pressured thing than it used to be. And it's just like the way you would think it would be. when you first got a record deal. You know, that's how it is now. But yeah, I just want people to understand when they hear this record that, you know, I see the support, I love them for it, and that I'm not shook or broken by anything that's happened in the last few months. I'm just ready to go, standing here ready. You know what I mean? That's what this album's about. So.
Well, that's awesome, man. You do definitely sound like you're in a good place, like you're happy these days, you know, so that's good to hear. So good luck on everything. Good luck with the album. If anybody wants to check out the album when it comes out, more information about you, you know, where can they go online?
They can go to youngwicked.com, and that'll take you respectively everywhere else you would want to be it Facebook, Instagram, Twiztid Shop, which is the website you can buy the albums. The album's out in 4 days. I'm not sure when this is going to air, but the album's out June 30th. Shit, actually, when this airs, it'll be out probably.
Yeah.
So, album's out now. You can buy it in any store that actually sells a CD still, or you can buy it online or through iTunes. If you buy it through iTunes, you get tracks, exclusive tracks, all sorts of dope shit. There's a million different packages. So, youngwicked.com, you can find me there. And you can learn more about my fucking journey trying to make it in this business, man.
All right, man. It's been great talking with you, man.
I should have been a wrestler.
Right, man. Young Wicked the
awesome.
Wrestler.
They'd call me fucking Young Skinny.
Young Skinny.
I'd be the cruiserweight champion.
Awesome, man. Awesome. It's been great talking with you, man. You have a good day and good luck with everything.
Thanks, man. We'll talk soon. Thanks again.
No doubt.
All right, much love.
All right, later.
You guys.
So that was my interview with Young Wicked. Go ahead and pick up that new album, The Return of the Prodigal Son, via Magic Ninja Entertainment right now. It's a really good album. Now, on to the Fresh is the Word discussion portion of the show. And like always, I'm joined with my co-host, MMA and pro wrestling connoisseur, Detroit hip-hop artist, and proud Marine, Vstylez. What up, though?
What up, though, Kelly? You all right, man?
Yeah, man. Yeah, I'm all right. Been experiencing some issues with my lower back. I just started physical therapy for it. So it's nothing severe, but hopefully it will... clear up soon with some physical therapy. I took a road trip out to Chicago this past weekend for Rise and Shimmer Wrestling. They're these women's organizations. And it was super fun, but road trips right now with my lower back all kind of like not feeling good, man, is like the worst. Like, on my drive back, I was just, like, wrecked. I was like, oh, my God, my back hurts so much.
Yeah, the back is definitely nothing to play with, man. That's you got to take care of that, Kelly, man. That's a different type of pain.
Yeah, it's not too overwhelming, but it's just, like, annoying. It's just always there, and it's totally, putting a bummer on my summer, because it's just, like... Some days it'll feel fine, and then I'll start to go do something, and I'll be like, oh, shit, 2 minutes in, I'm like, my back hurts now.
Yeah, my knee is like that now, man. I had ACL surgery a couple years back, and now I feel my movements is a little different, man. But once I'm in motion, it starts to feel good. But
right.
The beginning of the day, whoo, man.
Yeah, man. All right,
let it rain or snow or anything, man.
Dude, yeah, for real. All right, on the day that we're recording this, it's the first day of the Mayweather and McGregor World Tour, the spectacle of all spectacles. What was your thoughts on this first promo run out there in Los Angeles?
I'm gonna get round one to Conor. I mean, it was typical Conor.
Did you see his suit?
If you see, he had a pinstripe suit that had "fuck you" in the pinstripes. That was like, wow, really? That really fucking happened, man. So I mean, what do you say? I mean, it looked good. you know, you don't even see the fuck yous until you pay attention. That's what makes it slick.
Right. That's
You know,
hilarious.
you gotta really be looking at his. You gotta really be looking at it to be like, damn, did that just say fuck you? Yeah, it said fuck you, man. So, yeah, if he's trying to, you know, present some new shit tonight on some fashion wear, man, I think a lot of people would buy those suits.
Right.
I know I would.
Right. Just look closely. Look
you see
closely.
my suit? You see my suit, right, boss? You see it, right? Yeah. Shining. Fuck you.
Oh yeah. I mean, yeah, they're pouring some gasoline on the spectacle right now, man, and the flames are starting to erupt, man. It's getting interesting, man. I think people are they're diving into the spectacle.
They about to buy into it.
They're buying into it now, and everybody. This is the one thing I do really like about it. I feel like everybody is honest that this is a spectacle, and like everyone's honest. This is a spectacle. This isn't nothing serious. It's serious, but it's still a spectacle. So we can get that out of the way. It's a spectacle. So let's get everybody to buy into it.
Yeah, Floyd gonna beat the brakes off that boy. It's just sad that we're definitely gonna enjoy the build up, and for those who enjoy boxing, we're gonna watch Floyd do what he does best, and he's gonna beat the brakes off Conor McGregor in a boxing match. If you expect anything less, then you are definitely sadly mistaken. But all this is going to be irritating. I mean, not irritating, entertaining. Yeah, it's going to be irritating too. But I'm more looking forward to their trip to Ireland than I'm looking forward to anything else as far as you talking about the media obligations.
Right.
The Ireland conferences, press conference is going to be so over the top, and I think it's really going to make Floyd uncomfortable.
Yeah,
you know,
I can see that.
They some proud people, bro, and they don't give a fuck who you are. Like Ireland people, they different. They're a different breed.
Yeah, man, it's gonna be crazy.
You taking a whole team over there? They got a whole country.
Yeah, man, that's gonna be very, very interesting, man. Like you just see how wild they are in Ireland for anything like MMA. It didn't even have to have. If you have anybody, you know, like the Bellator, you went out over there for Bellator. It was wild for that, you know. Just think when that goes over there. You know, when they do a presser out there, man, it's going to be wild.
Mm-hmm. I'm looking at this something right now where it says a pissed off Floyd's dad confronts Conor backstage and McGregor absolutely roasts him. Yeah, I'm gonna have to look at this. that. Yeah, Dad. I don't know what Dad doing, man, but Dad need to. I mean, we love seeing you, but Dad needs to stay in pocket, man. This is about Floyd and Conor. This ain't got nothing to do with you.
Right. Turning to some other MMA news, it looks like Gegard Mousasi is going to Bellator.
Well, I'll say this. 2 weeks ago, me and Mo was talking.
Yeah.
I said, man, wouldn't it be funny if Gegard came over to Bellator? Because I still think you're a little salty over you beating him. You had way less fights. I think Mo had 6-7 fights when he beat Gegard for a Strikeforce world title. And Gegard at that time was top 3 light heavyweight.
Right.
You know, in the world. So losing to Mo, and I picked him back then, and that was the start of a dope friendship. But I always said that L probably bothers him more than any other L. Now, I'm saying this today.
Yeah.
a couple fights from now, if Gegard gets to a point where he's middleweight champion, that conversation is going to come up again. So remember that I said that
Right.
today. I've always believed Mo beating him changed him as a fighter. He actually went on like a little losing streak. At the time he lost to Mo, I think he only had one loss. He was like 31-1-1 or some shit like that.
Yeah.
Had a ton of fights, and he was just that good. I think that fight did something to him as far as him making his wrestling stronger. It changed him as a fighter so much to where he went to his natural weight, which is middleweight. I'm happy for Bellator. I don't understand why UFC would let arguably a top 3 middleweight in the world lead their organization on an upswing after beating one of your poster boys, Chris Weidman.
Right.
Chris Weidman. I like Chris Weidman. I love the whole story. He's known for beating Anderson Silva and his come up, but that guy beat one of your poster boys. Controversial or not, because he was definitely going to finish him. That's what Gegard does. When he know he got you, it's pretty much a wrap.
Right.
Let this guy go.
On a hot
I
streak,
can only
too.
say
And on a hot streak.
on a hot streak. Look, they did the same thing to Lorenz Larkin. These are top fighters. Most importantly, I've been saying this for the longest. Fighters love Scott Coker. Scott Coker is a magnet.
Right.
People don't understand that Bellator have to do certain things to bring attention to themselves. So while building the younger fighters, you might see a nostalgia actor too.
Yeah.
But bottom line is people are going to watch.
Yeah, those are fun.
And
People like those fights.
Me too.
Yeah.
Me too, because there's always unfinished business, and people always want to see that unfinished business. Now, he doesn't. I don't think Scott Coker is over the top, but if you look at the Elite XC days, the Strikeforce days, it's nothing different than what he did there. And if you look at the Strikeforce days, competition-wise, they at the end of their reign, that competition is there. So much is in as far as when you match them up with the UFC people. So much so that if you look at UFC's top people today, they're all Scott Coker fighters. I've been saying this for the longest, even on this podcast.
Right.
So I'm happy that Gegard is there. I think he's going to shine, man. I see several fights that I would like to see. Maybe, I could see a scenario where Rory McDonald wins the welterweight title, and he wants to go up and fight Gegard. I can see Gegard wanting to go back up, like I said, and get that L back. Because he said after he conquers the middleweight division, he's going to go for that 205 belt. Well,
right.
We all know, we know what's going on there. So it's just it's a lot of good things that's happening, man. And I'm happy. I'm just happy I've been aboard, man, and seeing what's happening. And I just don't understand why wouldn't you pay a top 3 guy when if you was to match him up with your champion right now, he probably would be the favorite against Michael Bisping. But you let this guy go.
And I think that was one of the reasons why he left, was because that division is has been so weird lately with the whole Bisping versus St. Pierre thing. Is that going on? Is it not going on? And then with everybody else in that division, if they're getting a title shot or not. And there's a lot of reasons like that I heard in his interview. Mousasi was saying on the MMA Hour in regards to why he went over to Bellator, and he did. And one of the things, like you said, was that no one ever says anything bad about Scott Coker, and he's someone that he wants to work with. And that was another reason why he went over there.
hmm Scott Coker has love and admiration from a lot of fighters, but people get caught up with the UFC Kool-Aid. Your champions over in UFC right now, Daniel Cormier, Tyron Woodley. You can name these guys, the top fighters over there, the Luke Rockholds, the Yoel Romeros, the Alistair Overeems, you name it, the Ronda Rouseys, the Chris Cyborgs, you name it. Those were all Scott Coker fighters. Those weren't homegrown UFC fighters. Those were fighters that they inherited when they purchased Strikeforce and kept Scott Coker up on the contract because they knew if anybody got him, he's the one that can be direct competition. It take a while, but he can get competition going against the UFC. It reminds me so much of the NWA days and the WWF days where you had alternatives to watch.
Yeah.
And some people were NWA fans and some people were WWE fans. People lived and died Hulk Hogan, by purists lived and died by Ric Flair. So I was an NWA fan. So if you want to, put the two and two, I would say WWE is more UFC, NWA is more Bellator. But Bellator on the rise, man, and it's going to keep happening. That Reebok shit doesn't make it any better for them. These guys are independent contractors. If you're an independent contractor,
right,
why is it that you have to wear a fucking uniform? People are tired of that. Fighters are tired of that.
And it's not even a cool looking uniform.
Nah, it's not. This shit looks super. I don't know nobody that owns, in real life, that owns a fight kit. I know you don't either. You can't name a person that's rocking a Michael Bisping fight kit. Yeah, they happy about that. We rocking that Reebok Michael Bisping. Yeah. No.
Right. Yeah, it's crazy. But man, it's gonna be interesting, man, with Mousasi and Bellator now, and he'll.
I say he gets an immediate title shot against Lima.
Oh, dude, he definitely should get a title shot. Definitely.
Instantly brings credibility to that championship, just like credibility is starting to happen in Bellator. It's people ain't gonna be seeing too much of the craziness. I mean, you got a couple crazy joints that might happen, but it's gonna slim down a lot because it's gonna be about the up and comers and your current fighters that are on that platform. Right.
Turning to the UFC, this past weekend there was a couple events going on. There was the Tough Enough finale, Redemption, then also UFC 213. Me just being out of town, I missed most of everything. I was able to get home just in time to watch the Romero Whittaker fight, and pretty much that, it was an amazing fight, but it pretty much worked out the way everybody said, that Romero will probably win early.
Take a move.
And he will, if he's going to win, he's going to win early. But then by the third round, he's going to start to gas. And if Whittaker can hold him through the third round, then it's going to be, Whittaker. It's going to be Whittaker's fight, which happened. And Whittaker went the whole way injured with getting his knee injured, which he had an injured knee for a while. But you could tell he was on one leg for most of that fight. So that was crazy, man.
Yeah. Kudos to Whittaker. I didn't have him winning going into that fight, and he wound up winning. And pretty much the way they, like you said, Romero gassing. I mean, it played into that. He stuck and moved. He kept sticking and moving. So I think Robert Whittaker will beat Michael Bisping. I don't want to sound like I'm shitting on Michael Bisping in the last 15 minutes, but I kind of am. Because even, I mean, everything timing-wise happened for that guy to become champion. Like, all the stars aligned.
Right.
And this dude defends his belt against a 14th ranked Dan Henderson. And, you know, you beat, who did he beat? Like, who's the other guy he beat? Dan Henderson, the only guy he fought?
Yeah, he's been the only one he's fought since he won the belt.
And that's piss fucking poor. Are you kidding me? You know, yet, you know, my boy Luke, you know, like, we all hear the cries and we know what the fuck's going on. And Dana just got motherfucking dick boys that he rapped for, man. And Bisping is one of them. You know, the guy never pulls out of a fight, you know, but yeah, he'll shit on Teron Woodley. You know, he'll get Ronda Rousey the world, but he'll shit on, you know, he don't really say nothing bad about Dave Cormier, but that's because DC don't give him no reason.
Right.
But, you know, if he sits on people if you don't have that hey boss relationship with them.
Right.
And it's just so obvious. Conor gets away with murder. I personally don't think he's going to fight anymore after this Mayweather fight. He doesn't, you know, what else does he need to do to secure his family? You know, he can go be a dad and have a, you know, he may get the itch to come back, but I see him dropping that belt and Ferguson and Khabib fighting for that title. That's just what I see. You know, or Gaethje, who knows? But we're going to have, you know, a new champion in the lightweight division soon, man, because I know if I got that bread, what the fuck I'm about to go get beat up with 4-ounce gloves on for, and I just got this bread with 10-ounce gloves on.
Right,
it don't make sense.
Right.
You know, so there's going to be some interesting things, you know, happening in the UFC soon, but I don't really give a fuck. My loyalty is always where it's been, you know what I'm saying? Because I don't like the politics on the other side, but I call it as I see it. You know, he throws motherfuckers up under the bus, like Amanda Nunes.
Yo, that was crazy, man. Like, look, when she is your champion. He is the promoter, and it doesn't matter if he agrees with what happened or not. He's supposed to spin that into the positive manner, and he just automatically automatically threw her under the bus this weekend before even knowing everything. And that shit was just that shit was wrong, man. Like you're the promoter.
That's what he do.
And like,
that's what
you just know he doesn't want her to be champion. You know, it's just that was just so wrong, man. That was so wrong.
That's what he do. He shit on people, man. He shits on people like horribly, and it's like, damn, man, really? You know, but you'll suck Ronda Rousey up, or you'll suck Michael Bisping up, or you know, he just got his bull riding ass crew.
Right.
You know, I you know, he don't even have a relationship with his mom. You know, so I mean, again, not to dig at this dude, but it's like, man, come on, man. You always doing some homematic shit, man. As a promoter, you know, you're supposed, yeah, we get it, you the boss, man, but you can't show how biased you are. He does it. You know, Dana White is, and I've been saying this for years, is the do as I say and not as I do person.
Right, and he's even been on record saying that. He's been on record saying that.
Mm-hmm. That's who he is. You know, you can just see it in his actions. He'll do some whole shit, and then somebody turn around and do the same whole shit he do, and he'll punish that person. And it's like, well, damn, you did it too. Okay, well, I'm the boss. He doesn't say that, but the actions definitely speak. You know, so
right.
Yeah, man. You know, I still see them going, you know, downhill. And and fighters are coming. They're coming in the age where they know they work. So there's gonna be more people, leave that horrible organization. I hope my boy Luke contract up. I'm pretty sure he'll be, coming over to Bellator. I can't talk about stuff like that, but I just see other people who say, hey, you know what? Fuck this.
Right.
If you can't beat them, join them. And then now you got to spend money building your new fighters. And, you got to hope that you can find that gym, because the gyms that you have found, I say UFC has found one gym. Guess who that one gym is?
Who is that one gym?
Let's take a guess. I'll give you one guess.
That they've actually found?
Yeah, that they actually found. He may have had 2-3 fights or 4 fights before he got there, but for the most part, they built his whole career.
Oh, dude, I don't even know. Who do you think the one gem is?
John Jones.
Oh, okay. All right. I mean, yeah, okay, yeah.
And I'm not saying like they built his star. I'm not saying that John Jones had fucked his star up, but they built his star. That was a platform to where, I didn't know John Jones prior to UFC. I don't think if anybody said they knew who he was, they're fucking lying. So, I remember watching his first fight in the UFC when he was like maybe 4 or 5-0 or something like that. So that's the one fighter that really has had a UFC career that they built. Now he's fucked that brand up numerous times, but he's the only fighter that they built. Think about it. Okay.
Everybody else came from.
Steopich.
Yeah, everybody else came from or everywhere else. Yeah.
And everybody else are, for the most part, Scott Coker fighters. Or Michael Bisping, but that's an Ultimate Fighter.
Yeah.
And his shit is luck. His shit is luck all day. But DC, Strike Force fighter. Watch this dude when he wasn't even on television. When he had about 3-4 fights. So to see where he's at right now.
Even
again, around the...
Even Conor McGregor came from Cage Warriors, where he was a double champion over there.
Exactly. He built his own shit.
Right. He built.
He had a fan base. They did was, okay, well, there, let me grab this dude and see what he can do over here, and he became they knight in shining armor. That's why he can do whatever he wants. They're gonna have to spend money on building these fighters, man, and or are they gonna just hope that fans take to a certain person? You can tell when they really getting behind that fighter. You start seeing that fighter with Metro PCS commercials, and,
right?
They may be in little independent movies. I don't know. Just be hosted.
Right. From what I hear, the Dana White and UFC is taking a liking to Justin Gaethje, especially after his UFC debut this past weekend.
You know what happened if that dude lost?
Right.
That dude would have lost. You know what Dana would have said?
Man.
Hey man, the kid succumbed. This is the big show over here.
Right.
When you come over to the big show, he may be big over there, but hey, you find the guys come over here and they find out the UFC is the real deal. Change that to Gaethje winning. Oh, yeah, that guy's a stud. I knew all along. You still didn't build him because we knew who Gaethje was before he got over there.
Right.
It's like we all knew who Eddie Alvarez was when he got over there. We knew. So it's like you can put over these new motherfuckers, man, that don't know, man, but are you going to spend bread to build stars? That's the big question. Scott Coker would do that because he has a big, Viacom is it.
Right, and over at Bellator, there is young guys over there that they're starting to build as, people who could be future faces of that company.
It's happening, bro. It's happening. It's happening. So we gonna enjoy the ride, man, to see what's gonna happen in these next couple of years.
I totally missed this fight, but what'd you think of the third fight in the trilogy of Alistair Overeem versus Verdum? This is their third fight. Their previous fights were in Pride and Strikeforce. So their third one is here in the UFC. I heard a lot of different, opinions about how this, was scored. I didn't get a chance to actually see the fights, but what'd you make of it?
Honestly, I'm happy that Alistair got the victory, but if I want to be 100, it should have been a draw.
Yeah, that's what a lot of people are saying, that it should have been a draw.
Yeah, Alistair won the first round by a hair. He won the second round clearly. And I think Fabricio should have had a 10-8 round in the third round.
Yeah.
And there's your draw. But I'm not necessarily mad at Alistair getting the victory, but I honestly think it should have been a draw. But Fabricio didn't do much until the third round. So at best, he deserved a draw. But I can understand why they gave him, the loss. It should have been a 10-8 round, third round. But yeah, good for Alistair, man. That keeps him, in title contention.
Yeah, man. Yeah, that's it's crazy. That's what I was just hearing a lot. That it was just, it should have been a draw. It was kind of a weird decision, but shit happens.
Fabricio went and filed he trying to get it overturned, saying he didn't lose that fight.
Right. But
so he appealed it. He appealed it today.
Yeah, well, that probably won't.
Nah, they ain't gonna switch.
That ain't gonna go nowhere. Nah.
Be like, talk like I'm New York. Dead ass, they not gonna switch.
Dead ass ain't gonna switch it.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
Oh yeah. Big fuck you to the people that fucked up Prodigy's mural twice.
Yeah, what
they got some whole ass shit.
Like what the who are these people that are doing that shit?
Allegedly some Bloods that he had beef with that said every time that mural go back up, they go fuck it up again. And I read that from I think Frankie Cutler's Instagram, somebody like that.
Oh man, that's sad,
so,
bro.
Allegedly he had beef with Bloods. That's what Frankie Cutler's was saying.
Shit, it's disrespectful, man.
It's super disrespectful. But this is the like Phil Collins say, this is the world we live in. Oh. It is real.
Yep.
And these are the things we've given. Yeah, real shit.
Real shit. All right, moving to the world of pro wrestling. The champ that runs the camp is the U.S. champion now. AJ Styles beats Kevin Owens at the MSG house show this past weekend. Like in every great moon they do something crazy at some of these MSG shows. That's been something that they've done for decades now. Like those MSG shows are always kind of something special, and every once in a while they'll pull something off like this. So it was crazy, man. I just came off. I just came back to my hotel when I was out in Chicago, and I just happened to look at my phone, and I'm like, oh, wait, what? Wait, huh? I think that's how everybody's was. Everybody was like shocked. I was really shocked that happened, man.
When I was a kid, before the internet and all that crazy shit, YouTube, we used to have to call hotlines to find out if titles changed during house shows, because other than that, we would have to wait until Saturday or Sunday to find out if anything happened through the week. House shows used to title changes during house shows used to be pretty common when I was growing up, and that's what made wrestling cool. You know, you wanted to know what happened throughout the week because we didn't have, you know, the internet or anything like that. We have to call these numbers like ML Curly to get that update, and you know, so that's where I come from. I think fans should always experience the unexpected at house shows.
Yeah.
And that should happen pretty frequent. I was at a house show when I seen Ronnie Garvin beat Ric Flair in a steel cage match for the NWA World Title. One of the greatest experiences I've ever had was watching Dusty Rhodes pick up Ronnie Garvin. No, it was Barry Windham picking up Ronnie Garvin, him holding the title up. Every wrestler from the back came out and celebrated. And I can remember the next day when World Championship Wrestling came on WTBS, Tony Schiavone, breaking update, da-da-da-da-da, and here's the end of the match. And they'll show what happened the previous night. Ronnie Garvin winning the title. It's one of the dopest shits that I've ever seen, man. Fans need to experience that. So I'm glad that it happened for AJ Styles. He won in two ways. He won the U.S. title, a belt he hasn't held.
Yeah.
And he did it at what we all consider the Mecca in Madison Square Garden. So, big up.
That's an amazing moment to have, man, to be able to win a WWE title at MSG, dude. That's like the center of all entertainment in sports.
Think about that. Think about this. That's where Superfly jumped off the cage against Don Morocco. Like, that place is magical. So if it was going to happen anywhere, the Garden.
You know what? Watching SmackDown tonight, things are just.
I seen the main event.
Yeah, things are just different on there when AJ Styles is a champion. It's just better. It just feels better.
Oh yeah, instantly.
It feels better.
It raises the show. Like when he rock, everybody want to be on. Like when he's wrestling, everybody want to show the fuck out on what they can do. It's like it elevates everybody else.
Yeah, it was just like it just felt better. Like he's one of those guys that when he's a champ, it just looks better, it feels better, it's just more entertaining, it's just more captivating to watch the show. And like so I'm glad he has this US title. It's good to see another belt around his waist again.
Easily is about to become more important than the world title.
Dude. Dude, definitely.
And that's the gift, man. John Cena was the last person to hold the U.S. title that made the U.S. title single-handedly. I care more about seeing his weekly challenges than who held the belt at the time, because that didn't matter, because his matches were just so fucking top-notch.
And the thing is, tonight they referenced that because at the beginning of the show, AJ Styles did an open challenge, and John Cena came out to do the open challenge, but then Kevin Owens and Rusev came out to squash everything before anything ever got started. But they definitely referenced.
Okay.
That's how the tag match happened. But they definitely made a reference to John Cena's run as the U.S. title champion and his open challenges.
Because I was wondering why was they facing off at the end, and then John raised his hand. I'm like, okay, they're cool. Okay, so that's what happened. Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, it was actually really, it was very good, a really good connection to the past with that title and what it is now. So It was like a fluent storyline that was actually happening right there. So
Good, because I remember
it made sense.
that U.S. title on. I remember that U.S. title on motherfuckers. It's like, why is this dude champion?
Right. Did you check out the Great Balls of Fire pay-per-view this past weekend?
Sure did.
I had fun watching it. I thought it was pretty solid.
I was all cool until Joe lost.
Yeah. No, the funny thing was that I felt and not because I wasn't enjoying the pay-per-view, it was just because I was dead tired from traveling. Like I fell asleep before the like during the Roman Reigns Braun Strowman match, and so I had to watch it the next day. But I just assumed that Joe lost because nobody text messaged me with joy that Samoa Joe is the Universal Champion. So I knew he lost because I didn't get any text messages. I didn't see anybody happy online. It was just like nobody was talking about it. So I'm like, okay, Brock Lesnar probably won.
And see, I ain't mad at Brock. I'm just disappointed that he's a part-time champion. And to me, it takes away from the talent that you have on the roster. It's like everything revolves around you, and other things become important.
But you know what? I think Brock Lesnar enjoys working with Samoa Joe, just based off that their segment on Raw this week, also involving Roman Reigns. Like that was a different Brock Lesnar.
Roman looked out of place. Yeah, it was. He got emotional a little bit.
Like he actually wanted to be there. It seemed like, and that was such a fire. That was a great segment, man. I'm like. I was on the edge of my seat. I'm like, oh, dude, man. And like, oh, what's going on? But like, yeah, Roman Reigns is kind of there. He kind of out of play, whatever. But maybe this will eventually be a triple threat match at like SummerSlam. That's what it seems like it's going to. It's going to eventually be, even though they're going to do this sort of number one contendership match between Roman and Joe next week. But I don't like. I think it'll eventually be just a triple threat match.
I hope so, man, and I hope Joe gets some type of a run, man. I really, I keep going back to this. I hate you keep shoving this one motherfucker down our throats, man, and it ain't worked yet, Vince. Changes. Attire, give him a new haircut.
Okay, this is the thing with Roman Reigns. This is the thing. He tried to murder Braun Strowman, and he's still the face. What the hell?
Exactly. Exactly.
Just turn him heel, man. Come on, turn him heel. Because he tried to kill Braun Strowman in an ambulance.
What I really hope for is when Braun comes back, the fans just are so over the top with him that it'll officially turns Roman into a heel, even if he don't want to be the heel, because the fans choose. Right now, it's still the middle. They still kind of like, he got his like little fans, and he got a majority of people that boo. But unless Braun has the overwhelming support, the WWE is going to keep him. It's like Steve Austin. You wanted him to be the heel, but the fans like, yeah, man, we fuck with this dude, man. Fuck you. We cheering for him.
Right.
And, I never forget that time he fought Bret Hart. And Bret Hart was definitely the face going in, at least in the WWF's mind. And during the match, you saw the fans literally turn against this dude, and he looking like, what the fuck? Like, what the fuck is really going on?
Right.
And the next day, even when Steve Austin, he bled out, and never tapped out, the next day Bret Hart came on, got booed out the fucking place. And that's when he was officially the heel. But we choose really who the heel. So we need to get behind Braun, man, because, yeah, man, I'm so tired of fucking Roman Reigns, man. I'm the guy. Oh, horrible.
This is my yard.
My yard. Oh my God, it's horrible, dude. You look like a fake ass Navy SEAL. I don't want to see that shit, man. I don't want to see that, man. You know, I'm tired of you coming out. I'm just tired of his whole shit, man. In fact, I'm tired of the whole Shield shit. They need to reunite right now.
Right. Yeah, just like say fuck it, dude. Just reunite them all. Fuck it.
Yeah, I've always thought that well, Seth to me is the G out of all three of them.
Right. I was just thinking about this last night. Like when I was watching Raw, I was like, you know what? I miss the Weasley champion Seth Rollins that was a part of the Authority. Like that was such a good run. But at the same time, that was the only thing. That's the only good run that any member of the Shield has had since they broke up. Is Seth Rollins' Weasley champion part of the Authority, run?
Yeah, I'm not really a fan of the Asylum guy. What's his name?
Oh, Dean Ambrose.
Oh, Dean Ambrose.
Nah.
He has one move when he goes through the ropes and bounces back up for that monster clothesline. That's dope. But he is probably the most boringest wrestler out of the three.
Yeah, and he was like my favorite out of the Shield when there was the Shield, I was more of a Dean Ambrose fan than anybody else when the Shield was together. But
he's super corny now, man. There's just something about him that don't. It's like, man, get him off fucking TV. I don't want to see him on TV.
Right. Well, it looks like also the Hardy Boys might be broken soon. They're teasing it more and more. And Jeff,
what happened? What happened recently?
Oh, did you see it on Monday?
Yeah. No. What did I miss on Monday?
Okay, so the Hardy Boys come out and they're talking about they're in the ring talking about their loss to Sheamus and Cesaro at Great Balls of Fire, and Jeff Hardy does the whole "render me obsolete" line that they did in Impact, like the whole song, like he says that whole thing, and the crowd,
the fans get behind it.
Oh, the crowd pops for that. And then Matt Hardy, I think he started saying some specific keywords that he used to say. And then what had happened is after they actually had a match with against Carl Anderson and Luke Gallows, and they ended up losing that match. And then afterwards, the Revival came out and beat up the Hardy Boys. So right now you have this thing where the Hardy Boys can't beat Sheamus and Cesaro. They lose to the Good Brothers, and then they get beat up by the Revival. Like, it looks like what's happening is they're going to just keep on losing.
So they're trying to take them to that dark place.
Yeah, it just looks like they're going to continue to lose, and they're going to soon crack, and they're going to fully bring out the broken gimmick that we're all waiting for.
I like that. It's
coming,
that.
Dude.
You go build it up.
It's coming, man. But when Jeff said that, like, we're like, oh my God, he said it. He's just said it.
Yeah, because Jeff ain't said nothing close. Like you see Matt doing his shit, but Jeff ain't broke character since he's been. Wow, I gotta look at my DVR now. Now, how did I miss that? Oh, I know how I missed it. Yeah, fucking getting ordered. Okay. Yeah, I gotta. Okay, I gotta look at that shit. I gotta look at that.
Yeah, that was very interesting. So I think.
Yeah, I'd have lost it if I got a kid, man. Yeah, I'm about to. Yeah. Yeah. Did they open up Raw?
No, that was somewhere in the middle. I think opening
second hour segment.
Yeah, that was like a second hour segment. Enzo and Cass, I think, actually opened up Raw, if I remember so. But no, it was.
Did they have a match, or did they talking shit to each other?
I think. Actually, I forget. To be honest with you, I think. I can't even remember.
And did the Big show up?
Yeah, that's what happened. Big Show showed up or something like that. Yeah, he came out and something happened. I can't even remember now. What the hell?
Okay, I'm about to. Okay, so when we finish, I'm about to start looking at it.
But no, when Jeff started talking and he ended his little promo by saying, about I'll fade away and classify myself as obsolete, and the crowd just went woo. Regardless of that, we're like, the internet blew up. We're like, oh, it's happening.
Oh wow! If they do this shit right, let's say they keep doing this shit, and then all of a sudden, SummerSlam is where we finally see what we wanted to see.
Yeah. We get Matt Hardy gets in touch with the 7 deities.
Oh man, that shit would be so fucking great, man. Oh wow.
And
yeah, I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah. And it looks like we're finally gonna get some know more about this thing that's been happening with Kurt Angle and Corey Graves with these text messages and whatnot. At the end of Raw, they said that next Monday, whoever this person is that they're talking about or whatever this controversy is, they're gonna be on Raw, and I don't know who this person's gonna be, and I don't know what it is, but Kurt Angle said that he loved them, so on the phone call, so I have no idea what's gonna happen with this.
I was hoping that was like his daughter or his wife or some shit like that, because if he come out as gay or some shit like that, it's like, where did that even come from? We would have never even wow, okay, all right, good for you, but don't necessarily understand, but okay.
I don't know if that would happen, because all the stuff they've done before, it would make it totally insensitive for them to do that.
Yeah,
it'd be
real.
Completely insensitive for that to happen. Because there's been comments, oh, this would ruin my career, this would blah blah blah.
Yeah.
I'm like,
yeah.
If that happened, that would totally be that would blow up in their faces totally, like no one would that.
Like super. That it will blow up in their faces like, wow, that's crazy.
Yeah, right.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah,
gotta love wrestling though. Gotta love wrestling. This is some good shit.
Right. It's wrestling's wrestling. But no, I've actually been very interested about what this weird little storyline that they've been having between Kurt Angle and Corey Graves is all about. And it's funny how they're kind of building Corey Graves as this person who keeps on finding out shit.
Maybe it's an angle involving Kurt Angle and Stephanie McMahon and Triple H confronting him, setting up their match for SummerSlam.
Maybe.
I mean, think about it. He's talking about wrestling. He's talking about Triple H is one of the people. We know that he wants to wrestle. We know that Stephanie's somewhere in the mix, lurking far away. It got to be a setup for a match, and the only thing that I see is a match between him and Triple H. It's the only thing that I can possibly see.
That's possible.
Nothing else makes sense. Nothing else will really make sense.
See,
it would have to be something that we are just not aware of.
Right. And see, that's what I like about this little storyline is that nobody has any idea what it could be. And for once we have something that's kind of hard to predict.
But I will say this, if it's what I called, I want to be announced as the guru, you know, from now on, when you introducing me, the guru has to be somewhere in there. 'Cause the only thing I see is
the guru of pro wrestling
gotta
and
be-
MMA.
hey, you know, it just gotta be something to where it's gonna set him up for a match, and it will make him heel instantly. Triple H been gone for a minute. It'll make him the popular dude, and then it's just gonna turn into something else, man. Because we all been waiting for Kurt to wrestle again. So, you know, I just don't see nothing else. It got to be something to where it forces a match between him and somebody. And I know Stephanie. I keep saying Stephanie, but I know she's somewhere ready to come back on TV soon. She is the Raw person. Triple H lurking somewhere. He's ready to come back on TV soon. SummerSlam is only a couple weeks away. I mean, the stars are kind of aligning. I'm just saying. Bet on V, bet on V, bet on V, y'all. Bet on V.
Bet on V. All right, Guru. That's about it for this week's Fresh is the Word podcast. Tell them where they can follow the Guru at.
Yeah, you can hit your man Vstylez up at the / Vstyle STY VSTYLEZ on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. You can hit me up on my official Facebook page at Official Vstylez. Official common spelling with the VSTYLEZ. Also, check me out on my Pandora radio station, Vstylez Radio. You also hit me up on my Spotify artist section. Yeah, stay tuned. We got some newness coming soon.
Word up, word up, word up. Thanks for listening. Goodbye and good night.
Peace.
Fresh is the word.